Today, we're diving into a massive shift in how we think about digital security. It's a strategy called zero trust, and it's pretty much changing the entire game.
And we're not just making this up. We are going straight to the source. Everything you're about to hear comes directly from this technical report published by none other than the National Security Agency.
So, let's just jump right in with a question that gets to the absolute heart of the matter. How do you stay safe when you have to assume that the bad guys are already inside?
To really get why the answer is so revolutionary, we first have to look back at the old way of doing things. Let's call it the broken castle model. For decades, the approach was actually pretty simple. We protected our digital systems just like you'd protect a medieval castle. Build a big, strong wall and dig a deep moat around the outside. Things like firewalls and network gateways.
The whole idea was, if we can just keep the attackers out, then everyone on the inside is safe. They're trusted. But this created a fatal flaw, because once an attacker got past that wall, maybe with a stolen password or a clever email, boom, they were inside, and the system just treated them like any other trusted user.
And this slide really nails the difference. The old model was supposed to be trust but verify, but in practice, it was more like trust once and then trust forever. The zero trust model completely flips that on its head. It assumes that threats are already inside, so it's in a constant state of never trust, always verify.
So, if that whole castle model is broken, what's the alternative? Well, that brings us to the solution, a totally new mindset called zero trust.
So what is zero trust, really? The NSA defines it as a strategy where you never, ever assume trust. It doesn't matter if you're logging in from the office or a coffee shop, your location doesn't automatically make you trustworthy. Every single connection is treated as if it's hostile until it can prove otherwise.
It all boils down to a very simple but incredibly powerful mantra that just perfectly captures the whole philosophy. Never trust, always verify. And this isn't just some good idea floating around. It's official policy. An executive order now requires U.S. government agencies to adopt a zero trust approach. This is a huge top-down mandate to secure the nation's entire digital backbone.
Okay, so how does this never trust philosophy actually work in practice? Well, it all really comes down to 3 guiding principles.
These 3 are the absolute foundation. First, never trust, always verify means exactly that. Every single request for access gets inspected every single time. Second, assume breach. This forces a huge mental shift. Instead of just trying to prevent attacks, you design your security to limit the damage an attacker can do once they're already in. And third, verify explicitly. This means we're moving way beyond just a simple password. We're going to use multiple factors to confirm your identity. Not just what you know, but where you are, the health of your device, even the time of day. Now, this all sounds great in theory, but how does an organization actually make this happen? That's where the NSA's official implementation plan comes in. To turn this into a reality, the NSA and the Department of Defense put together a detailed roadmap. They knew this isn't like flipping a switch. It's a gradual process, something you do step by step. And this is what that journey looks like. As you can see, the official guideline breaks it down into these really clear phases, taking you from the initial discovery all the way to advanced implementation. It's a structured evolution. Let's focus on those first critical steps. It all begins with discovery, because hey, you can't protect what you don't know you have. This means making a complete list of every user, device, and app. Then, in phase 1, you use that list to build a secure foundation, locking everything down. And it's only then, in phase 2, that you start rolling out the advanced zero trust tools that enforce these new rules. And to give you a sense of just how serious this is, those first few phases alone mean completing 91 distinct activities. This isn't just a vague suggestion, it's a highly detailed, structured process. An activity could be something like identify all administrator accounts, or as technical as implement multi-factor authentication for a critical app. So, okay, this is a complex government strategy. Why should this matter to you? Because this strategy is about protecting the systems we all depend on. We're talking about the power grid, the banking system, and the data that's absolutely vital to our national security. The stakes could not be higher, and this is the new front line of defense. At the end of the day, whether you're protecting a government network or just your own personal info, the fundamental principle is universal, and it's the key takeaway. Never trust, always verify. And that leaves us with one last big thought. in a world where everything and everyone is connected all the time. Maybe zero trust is actually the new, and maybe the only real definition of trust.